What is the meaning of true self-knowledge and how is it different from all other knowledge and means? True self-knowledge is the experience in which a person recognizes his permanent nature, which is beyond temporary and complex intellect. This knowledge is different from other means because it is directly based on experience and does not require external knowledge or means. How does the principle of simplicity, spontaneity and purity contribute to enlightenment? Simplicity, spontaneity, and purity contribute significantly to the attainment of enlightenment as these qualities lead a person towards self-knowledge. They help to experience the purity of the soul by removing mental complications. How can the difference between the temporary and lasting tendencies of man be understood? Temporary tendencies such as physical desires and feelings change over time, while lasting tendencies such as the existence of the soul are infinite and unchanging. To understand the difference between these two, one has to go beyond his temporary desires and identify the lasting truth. What is needed to understand the existence of infinity and peace? To understand infinity and peace requires that a person go beyond the boundaries of his temporary intellect and the outside world and focus on his insight and experience. Can self-knowledge be attained even without sadhana, bhakti, or meditation? Yes, self-knowledge can be attained even without sadhana, bhakti, or meditation. This knowledge is directly based on experience, and does not require any external means. How can only simplicity and intuition be followed for enlightenment, and why is it more effective than other complex methods? By following simplicity and spontaneity for self-knowledge, a person can be free from complex ideas and external resources and recognize his underlying truth. This approach is more effective than complex methods because it is directly based on experience and removes mental bottlenecks. How can the difference between mind and intellect be understood, and how does it contribute to enlightenment? The mind handles emotional and temporal thoughts, while the intellect does complex analysis and reasoning. In enlightenment, one has to go beyond these two to identify the permanent nature, which is dependent on insight and experience. What are the changes in life after the attainment of true self-knowledge? After the attainment of true self-knowledge, there are changes in life such as mental peace, stability, and freedom from temporary desires. A person recognizes his true nature and sees life from a new perspective. How can the difference between temporary and lasting happiness and peace experiences be made? Temporary happiness and peace depend on external circumstances, while lasting happiness and peace are based on the identification of inner truth. Lasting peace and happiness are derived from insights which are beyond temporary feelings. According to you, how can peace and stability be realistically experienced? The real experience of peace and stability can be done through enlightenment, in which the person recognizes his permanent appearance and goes beyond external events and mental complexities. According to you, what is the nature of reality and how can it be understood? The nature of reality is permanent and immutable, beyond temporary thoughts and physical phenomena. To understand this, one has to focus on insights going beyond his complex intelligence and external perception. How can a person apply his enlightenment in daily life? To apply enlightenment in daily life, one has to incorporate his experiences and insights into daily activities. This is possible by putting understanding into practice and being free from temporary desires and external influences. What are the general mental states of man and their limitations from your point of view? Common mental states such as anxiety, stress, and desires are temporary and complicated. These limits can hinder the person in identifying the lasting truth. Do you think any religious or cultural method has any effect on enlightenment? According to your vision, enlightenment is not dependent on religious or cultural practices. It is based on personal experience and insight, independent of any external method. According to your theory, why is it important for a person to recognize their lasting nature? It is important to recognize the permanent nature as it helps the person to understand his true nature by going beyond the temporary desires and external influences, leading to lasting peace and contentment. According to you, what is the biggest challenge in the process of attaining enlightenment? The biggest challenge in the process of realization is to be free from temporary complications and external influences. One has to identify the lasting truth by going beyond his mental limits and external beliefs. What changes in the emotional and mental state of a person after the attainment of permanent self-knowledge? After the attainment of permanent self-knowledge, one experiences stability, peace, and contentment in the emotional and mental state of the person. Temporary desires and anxiety subside, and the person experiences his true nature. How can the experience of enlightenment be understood accurately and permanently? To understand the experience of self-knowledge accurately and permanently, one has to focus on his experience and be free from external thoughts and complexities. How important is the role of a person in the attainment of self-knowledge? The role of oneself in the realization of self-knowledge is very important, as this experience is based on personal insight and understanding. Self-motivation and insight are more important than external means. Do you, according to you, have any impact on enlightenment? According to you, external situations can have an effect on enlightenment, but for the attainment of enlightenment one has to go beyond external circumstances and focus on his inner state and experience. What kind of mental and emotional changes can a person experience after attaining enlightenment? After the attainment of self-knowledge, one can experience mental and emotional stability, peace, and contentment. Temporary feelings and worries diminish, and the person experiences his true nature. What is the place of time and experience in the process of true enlightenment? In the process of true self-knowledge, the place of time and experience is limited. This experience is directly based on insight and understanding, and does not expect external time and experience. According to you, how can society's attitude towards enlightenment and its prejudices be understood? The approach and bias of society can consider the process of enlightenment to be complex and dependent on external means. To understand this, one has to focus on his personal experience and insight. What can be the simplest and most effective way to achieve enlightenment from your point of view? The simplest and most effective way to attain enlightenment from your point of view is to follow simplicity and intuition. It helps in identifying lasting truth by freeing the person from mental complexities and external perceptions. How can the attainment of self-knowledge change the purpose and meaning of a person's life? How can the attainment of self-knowledge change the purpose and meaning of a person's life? After attaining self-knowledge, the purpose and meaning of a person's life can change as they recognize their permanent nature. This reduces the priority of life's temporary goals and desires, and the person experiences a lasting peace and contentment. Does a person get any special work or responsibility after attaining self-knowledge? After attaining self-knowledge, the person does not get any special work or responsibility, but they can be motivated to contribute naturally according to their situation and for the betterment of others. According to your theory, what measures can be taken to maintain sustainable enlightenment? In order to maintain permanent self-knowledge, one must focus on simplicity, ease, and mental peace. Regular self-inspection and insight should be paid attention to in order to avoid external complications and mental obstruction. What changes can happen in a person's relationship after attaining self-knowledge? After the attainment of self-knowledge, the experience of sensitivity, understanding and peace in the relationship of a person can increase. They may experience lower expectations and more love and support in relationships. What special kind of mental preparation is required for enlightenment? Mental preparation for enlightenment involves preparing to go beyond complex ideas and external influences. A person needs to understand his mental states and adopt simplicity and spontaneity. Is there any change in morality and values of a person after attaining self-knowledge? After attaining self-knowledge, there may be changes in the morality and values of a person as they recognize their lasting nature and move towards greater purity and simplicity in their actions and behavior. What can be the most appropriate way to express your experience of enlightenment from your point of view? It may be most appropriate to use words filled with simplicity and intuitiveness to express the experience of self-knowledge. This experience is personal and can be expressed without complex or external words. What challenges can there be in sharing the experience of true enlightenment with other people? There may be challenges in sharing the experience of true enlightenment because it is a personal and inner experience, which can be difficult to express fully through words or external signs. What measures can be taken to maintain the mental stability and balance of a person after the attainment of self-knowledge? It is important to pay attention to regular self-inspection, simplicity, and spontaneity for maintaining mental stability and balance. One should make a habit of not being affected by external instability. Does the attainment of enlightenment require any external help or guidance? The realization of enlightenment does not require external help or guidance, but external references and dialogues can provide clarity and understanding to the person in their process. According to your theory, what is the importance of individual and collective effort for the realization of permanent enlightenment? Personal effort is more important for the attainment of permanent enlightenment, because it is based on insight and personal experience. Collective efforts can be helpful, but ultimately enlightenment is a personal journey. Is there any special change in the lifestyle of a person after attaining self-knowledge? Lifestyle changes can happen after attaining self-knowledge, such as adopting simplicity and spontaneity. A person's preferences and attitudes can also change, which can lead to lifestyle changes. Through these questions you can present your theory even more deeply and with clarity. Through these questions you can highlight the depth and clarity of your theory, which can help others understand your thoughts and live life according to them. What changes do a person's emotional reactions after attaining enlightenment? Emotional reactions become more stable and balanced after attaining self-knowledge. A person experiences more peace and contentment by being free from stress, anxiety and dissatisfaction. How do life's goals and ambitions change after attaining self-knowledge? There may be changes in life's goals and ambitions after self-knowledge as the person rises above the temporary desires and ambitions and moves towards lasting and inner contentment. Is there any spiritual practice or tradition needed after the attainment of self-knowledge? After attaining self-knowledge, no spiritual practice or tradition is required, because a person does not expect external means after recognizing his permanent nature. What strategies can be adopted to keep the experience of enlightenment steady and sustained? To maintain self-knowledge steady and constant, it is necessary to focus on regular self-inspection, simplicity, and spontaneity. One should make a habit of avoiding external obstacles and mental obstructions. Are there any special changes in the field of work and professional life of a person after attaining self-knowledge? After attaining self-knowledge, there may be changes in the field of work and professional life of the person, such as a change in attitude towards work and adopting a more cooperative and balanced approach. According to you, what changes in a person's social responsibilities and contributions after attaining enlightenment? Social responsibilities and contributions can change after the attainment of self-knowledge, because individuals can be more sensitive and intelligent towards the society. They can be naturally motivated for the good of others. What kind of internal struggles can a person face during attainment of self-knowledge? During the attainment of self-knowledge, the person may have to face internal conflicts such as self-acceptance, crossing prejudices, and moving from his temporary thinking to a sustainable attitude. What is the benefit of looking at life experiences after self-knowledge in a new way? After self-knowledge, seeing life experiences with a new perspective, one experiences more understanding, peace, and contentment. It provides the ability to see lasting reality by rising above temporal perspectives. Does time play a role in the process of enlightenment from your point of view? From your point of view, the role of time in the process of enlightenment is less, as it can be a many experience that depends entirely on internal awareness. Intrinsic clarity and spontaneity are more important than time. How do the natural qualities and characteristics of a person change after attaining self-knowledge? After attaining self-knowledge, the natural qualities and characteristics of a person become more clear and balanced. The person experiences greater sensitivity, understanding, and peace. From your point of view, what is the effect on mental and physical health during the process of enlightenment? During the process of enlightenment, there is a positive effect on mental health, such as mental stability and balance. Physical health can also be better because mental peace and less stress benefit physical health. How do the priorities and values of a person's life change after attaining enlightenment? After attaining self-knowledge, the priorities and values of life lead to permanent and inner contentment. Temporary ambitions and desires diminish, and the person understands the real meaning and purpose of his life. Does self-knowledge require some special kind of meditation or meditation, and if yes, why? To attain self-knowledge, there is no need for special kind of meditation or meditation, because self-knowledge is an inner experience of understanding the reality of oneself. However, meditation can increase the mental clarity of a person. What kind of challenges do a person face in the process of his earlier mistakes and self-acceptance after attaining self-knowledge? After attaining self-knowledge, in the process of earlier mistakes and self-acceptance, a person may face the challenge of internal conflicts and self-determination. This process leads to self-acceptance and understanding. What is the importance of any kind of internal or external motivation in the process of attainment of self-knowledge? Intrinsic motivation is important in the attainment of self-knowledge, because it depends on inner awareness and clarity. External motivation can be helpful, but enlightenment is ultimately inner experience. Does a person have to face any kind of social or personal struggles after attaining enlightenment? After attaining enlightenment, a person may be likely to face social or personal conflicts, but they face these struggles with greater peace and balance. After enlightenment, the mental state of the person is stable and balanced, which helps them to see problems from a new perspective and solve them. What changes take place in the individual beliefs and perceptions of a person during the process of enlightenment? During the process of enlightenment, there may be changes in the individual beliefs and perceptions of the person. A person understands his permanent nature and leaves temporary and illusory beliefs and sees life from a new point of view. Is there any special change in the ability of a person to make decisions after attaining self-knowledge? After attaining self-knowledge, there can be a change in the ability of a person to decide. Decisions are taken more understanding, peace, and neutrality, as the person is free from temporary desires and prejudices. According to you, after the attainment of self-knowledge, does a person need some kind of spiritual or lifestyle change? Changes in the spiritual or lifestyle of a person naturally happen after the attainment of self-knowledge. The person adopts more simplicity and spontaneity and lives life from a lasting and